Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday when I'm filming this. Today, I feel like I'm just in the vloggy mood and I wanted to vlog a day in the life of being like a productive content creator because that is what I am. I'm a podcaster, I'm a YouTuber. I was gonna say TikToker, but I really don't be posting on there as much as I probably should. Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And you guys did say you liked one of my vlogs where I was talking a lot about how I plan my days, what I'm doing, all that kind of stuff. So I figured like, why not just do it? And I recently just got back from Nashville and I've been not feeling the best, like completely recovering. I've been getting a lot of work done, but today I wanted to kind of get back on things. It was also Thanksgiving yesterday in Canada. I live in Canada, so it was kind of like a holiday, a chill day. Although I'm still not feeling the best and I wasn't even going to film today. But then I was like, girl, you need to get things done. So just pick up the camera and freaking vlog. So this vlog might be 2 days. I don't know. We're gonna see how much I can get done. But we have a lot of things that we need to do today. And what I first like to do with anything is like, I'm a planner, guys. So this planner I got, I don't even know if it'd be available. It's from Indigo. I like to use this on top of using Notion. I use Notion for all of my podcast ideas, my YouTube ideas, my Instagram ideas, everything like that. And then I will transfer whatever I need to film, depending on what I have on my Notion, into my calendar. And then I look at my week and I'm like, okay, today I have to film, tomorrow I have to do this, blah, blah, blah. So I have like a lot of different things that I use. And on top of that, which this is a lot, but this is what happens when you work for yourself. I like to go into my notes app and I also like put all my ideas in my notes and then I transfer them to Notion. And then I'll add them into my calendar. But what I like to do is to go into my notes app and just like start a brand new note and just write today. And then I list out the things that I need to do step by step. Like this morning I have to eat and then I gotta go to the gym and then I have to film and then I have to reply back to an email and then I have to film this brand deal before a certain time. Like I like to do things like, I don't actually put the time, but step by step I think about when I need to do things, one thing before the other, so that I make sure that I'm not missing anything. Because there's a lot of things that I have to do. Managing a bunch of different types of channels and just random things, like especially with brand deals and stuff, there's like timelines, there's contracts, there's submitting content, there's posting it, all that kind of stuff. So sometimes when there's a lot of things going on, I like to have like 18 lists of things to do so I don't forget anything. So first of all, when I am working for myself, I make sure that I pour into myself as much as I can and not just completely into work, which a lot of my life and my day is revolved around work. But I was talking to my friend about this because she recently just went full-time as a content creator as well. She was like, how much time do you spend a day doing content and whatever? And she's like, do you spend like an 8-hour workday? And I'm like, no, for one, because like who actually spends 8 hours of actually working at a desk? I used to work at a desk, I used to do all that kind of stuff, and realistically, there's always a lot of downtime, right? There's always a lot of you screwing around, not really doing anything. So like, I've learned how to really get the most out of maybe like 4 solid hours of work, let's say. Depends, obviously depends if I'm filming, if I'm editing, whatever. But I was even telling her like, I have to also prioritize my sleep and my nutrition and moving my body and connecting with humans and connecting with my friends and doing things outside of just tunnel vision on my work, because realistically, I am my work. So if I am not pouring into myself and I'm not the best version of myself, then my content is not going to be good. And that obviously is the part of my job. So I need to kind of do my best to balance things and not just like, oh, today I'm just gonna like work all day. It's like, okay, well, what am I gonna work on if I'm literally depleted? So anyways, I make sure that I have movement in the morning. Now, usually it depends. I have like a whole cycle of different things that I do. Lately, I've been doing one Pilates class a week, and then I'll do maybe spin with my friends. And I go downstairs to my gym. I have like a full gym, it's beautiful. 2 to 3 times a week, and then the rest of the days I'm walking, but I'm also doing hot girl walks like all the time. I love walking. So today, I have a Pilates class at 12 o'clock and it's 9:30 right now. So I have a few things that I can do before I go to Pilates. And I think what I'm gonna do is I need to send in my analytics. So every month I have a management, like a talent management, and they update all of my analytics on the back end for YouTube and Instagram, podcasts, all that kind of stuff. So when they pitch to brands and when brands want to see my analytics, they have it updated, and I need to do that because I've been slacking on that. I like to just focus on one thing at a time, like one little to-do task at a time, because if I start thinking about a million things I gotta do later in the day, then I stress myself out, and then I have all these stories, and then it's like a big thing. And so starting small, like no matter what you're doing, honestly can be very, very helpful. Let's send the analytics to my management. By the way, this is probably my least favorite thing, and I always, literally always, put it off till last minute because it's just so tedious and I have to go to every social platform and screenshot everything, but that's what I do. So I'll go on Instagram and then I'll go into my back end to all my analytics and then I'll screenshot everything and I'll airdrop it to my computer and then I save it under like October analytics, Instagram, October analytics, story impressions, whatever. And then I have this folder that I just add everything in and then I'll send her an email and say that I'm done. So let's do this. Okay, that is done. And you know what's funny is every time I do it, I always realize that it wasn't as hard as I keep telling myself. Like it only took me maybe like 10 minutes to actually do. See, this is the thing. I talk about this all the time about the stories that you tell yourself about doing something because I show myself time and time again just how insane I make things when they don't need to be. Like I'll just get in my head about how hard something is going to be or how dreadful or how like I can't do it, blah, blah, and then you do it and it's like, oh my God, that was actually really easy. I remember thinking about when I really wanted to dive in a pool for the first time. I was so afraid to like dive off of the actual like side of the whatever it is beside the pool. And I'd be so hesitant. I would get in so much in my head. And then when I finally first did it the first time, I was like, oh, this is nothing. And then instantly I was able to do it again and again because I just like instantly had the confidence because I actually did it. So anyways, done that. My next thing that I wanted to do is to go in to see if there's any brand deals that I have not gotten paid for. So what I do is I have a list of all the brand deals that I have and when they went live. So each video or each post, depending on if it's on like Instagram or YouTube. YouTube is like my main thing. I'll write out Scentbird went live on September 20th. So in a month, I'm gonna check and see how I got paid for that. And if not, then that is when I'm gonna start to follow up with my management. And they will nudge the brand if they haven't sent it, or they'll just like let me know if it's in transit, whatever. So I have two actually that it's been a while. It's been a while, girl. So I'm gonna send them an email for both of them. And I also have another thing underneath it where I write in new brand deals coming in. So this is when we have decided on doing a collaboration with a brand and we've signed the contract and the briefs are coming in, like things are in motion. Maybe I haven't filmed or uploaded this thing yet, but I like to write down like, oh, okay, I'm getting a new brand deal with this. And I estimate how much money I'm gonna be getting. So I take out the fee that my talent management's going to take. I take like 40, I honestly save so much of my money. I take like 40%, at least 40% out of whatever I am getting coming in because one, I put away for taxes, which is not my money, and you don't get taxed, so you have to do it yourself. This is what happens when you're like your own business owner. And I also put money away for like actual savings and stocks and everything like that. So I like to kind of like estimate how much money I'll be getting in and which month. So that way I can kind of see how much I'll be making so that I have some sort of like vision. Now, I also have AdSense, which is kind of like, I look at it as like my salary. It also fluctuates depending on how much videos I'm putting out and views and things like that. But in terms of brand deals, they can be all over the place a lot of the times if you are not being particular with like writing everything down. So that is what I do. So that way I can kind of just see how much money I'm probably going to be pulling in September, October, November. It also just puts me at ease a little bit because obviously like working for yourself, I need to know how much I'm making, girl, to pay the bills. So that is how I do it. I feel like a lot of people ask like, how do you even know? Because things do fluctuate a lot and that's kind of like the best way that I can kind of like, you know, track what's going on. And I have another section underneath that, which is my YouTube checks, which I just always write out how much I got deposited in my bank. And then I also pull out again a certain percentage of that paycheck and I put all of my money where it needs to go. And then I write if I've paid it or not, which I always do usually when I write this down. So that way, again, I can just have everything like written down so I'm not out of track. I also have like brand deals coming in for the podcast. I'm kind of doing more of that now, which is the same thing. By the way, if you guys are interested, I use Wealthsimple, which is a place where I actually buy my stocks, but I also hold my money in an interest-free savings account. I think that's how you say it. Interest-free savings account. Oh, sorry, no. High interest savings account. So essentially all the money that I have for my income taxes and all the money that I have for savings, like emergency funds, things like that, I like to put it in an account where I'm going to be making some sort of interest back. So the bank is essentially giving me money to keep my money there because they're using it, right? So instead of using a traditional bank, I'm using that. So Wealthsimple has a section where you can like put in your money to make some interest. So that's where I put all of my money in there. And then of course I have a separate account where I put money in every month and I buy stocks with that money. And that is a long-term investment. Obviously I'm not pulling money out of that. So yeah, that's what I do. So let me email the girlies and make sure that I get paid. One thing that I am definitely trying to get better at, which I feel like I'm good in a lot of areas of my life, and I feel like you guys would assume that I am in everything, but you know, there's definitely still parts of me that is kind of like a people pleaser, like doesn't want to rock the boat, doesn't want to like push, doesn't want to stand up for what she should be standing up for in a way. Like I'm really trying to work on not feeling bad about asking for what I need. And so why I'm saying this is even sending an email, like nudging my management about like, hey, like just checking in when I'm getting paid for this thing. Like, even though it's been a long time and I can absolutely like, they're totally fine. They've told me a million times, like, just like send us emails if you're ever like, whatever, like it's totally fine for me to ask this, but I still feel some sort of way about being like, oh man, like, should I just wait, or should like, I don't want to come across as like pushy or whatever, but it's like, it's my money. I did the work, and also the timeline has been passed. I have every right to send that email. But it's just like things like that that I'm trying to work through. And in my head, when I start to feel those or really hear those thoughts in my head, I'm kind of just like, no, Alicia, like you're allowed to have certain needs and wants, and you're allowed to voice that, and you're allowed to stand in that worth. And I even think about that when it comes to relationships and stuff too. You know, sometimes you just don't want to say what you actually need to say so that you don't rock the boat. But then I always just remind myself, like, you're just doing this because you're afraid that maybe there's either rejection or maybe people won't like you and this, that, but it's like, you can't live life like that. But anyways, that's just something that I have really been trying to learn. And even when it comes to work and boundaries, my strategy when it comes to being on social media and what I really want to do and not. And I think that I've been really, really good at doing what I want to do, obviously, and I've been successful doing that. But there always is parts of me that I'm like, oh, maybe I should do more on TikTok, or maybe I should do these types of videos or that, or like add this in and whatever, even if it's in my own niche. And lately I've really just been like, listen, first of all, you don't have to do everything, which I already know that, but also like, you also need to have some sort of boundary when it comes to, even when it comes to like DMs and people messaging me and always putting out all this content. It's like, I have to remind myself that I matter and I can't just always do absolutely everything, and nor do I need to. And I even think about this when it comes to thinking about, okay, if I had everything that I wanted in my life, if I had all the money, if I had all the freedom, if I didn't have to do anything, what specifically would I be doing? And when I think about that, there's definitely things that I tell myself that I need to do that I actually would not do if I didn't have such huge influences around me, or like if I wasn't thinking about money or whatever. Obviously, everyone has to think about money when it comes to their work. And also, just in general, like I feel like naturally we just want to keep up with the Joneses and stuff, but I try to remind myself like, okay, if you have everything that you absolutely ever wanted, what exactly would you be doing? Would you be doing this type of video? Would you be talking about this? Or would you be talking about that? Da, da, da. So I really try and go into the realm of what it is that I actually would want to be talking about if like there was just like ultimate freedom. For now, I'm just gonna chill because again, I'm not feeling the absolute best. We're gonna go to Pilates, come back, I gotta do my one-on-one coaching, and then we'll see what we get up to after. One last thing, I am posting on my podcast Instagram, which go follow me on there. I do all the Q&As anytime that I wanna know what you guys wanna hear on the podcast. And I'm gonna ask, and this video is gonna be up already, but that's fine because you can just go watch the episode, but I'm gonna ask what questions you have about like content creation, side hustles, career paths, like all that kind of stuff when it comes to, you know, making money online and things. There is something about being a pink Pilates princess. I know you can't see me right now. I'm gonna put this up here, maybe. There's something about being a pink Pilates princess that I like to play into. And now, I actually don't know where my pink set is, so I'm just gonna wear purple. I'm gonna be a purple Pilates princess today. And my favorite, literally my favorite workout sets are all from Buff Bunny, which I have this linked on my Like to Know It. Same with everything else. I think I also have a discount as well. So I'm gonna put this on, but I also need to like wear track pants over this and like bundle up because it is damn near like 11 degrees outside. I'm not gonna lie, wearing this shirt with these purple shorts are kind of a vibe. I think what I'm gonna do is just like wear this sports bra underneath this and actually just wear it to Pilates, because one thing about Pilates is I don't really sweat, so I don't really need to wear like nothing like I would for my leg days. Also, one thing that I talked about on my podcast, hopefully you guys can hear me, is I've been drinking a lot more water. And the way that I've been drinking more water, of course, is like to have something cute, but also to drink warm water. Like not warm water, but I leave my Brita outside of my fridge now, and I can drink so much more water because it is not freezing cold. My teeth get really sensitive, and in general, I'm always cold. And so for me to try and chug ice cold water, no bueno. It's a no bueno. But let's quickly just talk about this bottle, because I think it is the cutest thing that I've actually ever received in terms of anything to do with hydration. And this is actually the sponsor of today's video, which is Bottle. And so they actually sent me 3 Hydro X bottles. Now I have this one in the bag because I'm actually gonna be doing a giveaway for the holidays. So I wanna keep this for you guys. So definitely stay tuned for that. And like, thank you guys so much, Bottle, for sending me so many of them. And so these Hydro X bottles, they are dual ended. So you can either, first of all, you can just twist it off, obviously, and put your water in there, and there's a straw in it. You can pop up the lid and just drink it that way, like normally, or if you want, which is what I like to do, is to drink it through the straw lid. You also have this little holder that you can carry, so if you're like going on a hot girl walk and you don't feel like holding your hand around the bottle, you can literally just carry it as if it's like a purse. And listen, if you guys like cold water, because I know you guys do, then that's perfect, because this bottle will keep your water cold for 24 hours, and if you put hot water in this, it will last for 12 hours. These bottles are also double-walled stainless steel, they're BPA free, and they're dishwasher safe. And one of my favorite features, which I didn't know they actually had until after I was like taking a deep look at this, is they have a little vitamin holder at the bottom of their water bottles. So you can put your vitamins, you can even put tea bags and take the divider out and just put tea bags in there, which is perfect if you're like on the go or if you're traveling. And I brought my smaller water bottle on the plane with me and just put the little vitamins in the bottom, which is perfect. They have sizes ranging from 24 ounces to 32 to 40 ounces, all available in different colors. And obviously they're really good if you're going on hikes, if you're traveling, depending on, you know, if you're going on a workout. Obviously I'm bringing this to Pilates. If you want to use my discount, then go onto the Bottle website, which will be down in the description, and you can use my code 15AliciaYT to get 15% off their site. Or if you'd like to purchase your stuff on Amazon, the link will be down below to get your bottle as well. Definitely check that out if you're interested in a new water bottle. I am going to put on some more clothes because it's cold out, and we're gonna go to Pilates. By the way, can we just take in all of the product that I've been hoarding in my office that is eventually gonna be turning into my podcast studio. If you didn't remember, I used to record in here and have my whole office in here, but then I moved it out there. Anyways, so I'm sorting a bunch of things that like obviously that I would love to try, but obviously I can't try everything. So there's some things I'm gonna keep, but I'm honestly hoarding so many things to put together holiday giveaways. I think that's another thing when it comes to being a content creator. I feel like everyone's like, oh my god, it's so cool, like I want to do the brand deals, and I want to do, I want to get PR, and I want to get all these free things and like the lifestyle and stuff. And I think the best thing that you can do if you are wanting to be a content creator, and even if you're not, I guess you just know now, is to always just focus on your skills, your talent, the value that you can bring to your audience, and everything else will follow. I feel like there's just not a point on hyper focusing on like money, followers, products, lifestyle, and obviously you can't not think about those things, obviously. But I did my best when I was growing my podcast and YouTube, everything, TikTok even as well, to really just focus on what I was good at and not focus on the external things, the material things that really did not necessarily matter. Because the way that I look at it is, you know, the brand deals and the free stuff and the lifestyle, this is all a result of me doing hard work. So I'm not gonna focus on the reward yet. I'm gonna focus on putting in the work and in the process and doing the best that I can to give out to my audience what it is that I'm gonna give out, and just trusting that I'm gonna get rewarded for my hard work. And I feel like, you know, and I used to kind of think like this at the very beginning, especially when I used to follow a lot of content creators, like looking at the rewards and being like, oh my God, I want it so bad. I want the money, I want the freedom, I want the life, I want the da-da-da. But I think with anything, you have to kind of realize like you're gonna have to put in hard work if you want good things. And it might look like people don't put in hard work when it comes to either being content creators or whatever, and to each their own, however you think. But, you know, for me, I knew there was going to be a level of work that I had to put in. And when I did that, I was going to get rewarded. And I think that the more that you focus on the reward instead of the actual work, that's when you really want to ask yourself the question of like, why am I trying to do this in the first place? And again, obviously we have to get paid, we need money, we need to focus on these things. Yes, obviously I want cool products and free stuff. Like, it's fine that I want that. We have egos, we have needs, we want material things. That's totally fine. But I do think that, you know, if you want to have a long lasting business and if you want to do things and be impact, then focus on being that impact, and all the things that you ever wanted and needed will come. I never had the access to any of this stuff, let alone the life that I live now, let alone the money, let alone the time freedom, all of it. Never had it. So I get focusing on that, and that's what you really want. But it's crazy because this is like when you think about manifestation and getting things the way you want in your life, it's almost like you have to detach and not want the thing that you're focusing on so bad, and focus on the moment and the process and becoming that person who already has these things, and then they come. Which kind of makes sense too, because it's like a law of attraction thing. Like attracts like. So if you're always focusing on wanting things that you don't have, you're kind of in the energy of lack. And then how are you going to be a match to abundance when you're in lack? And so when I say become the version of you who already has all the things that you would ever need, you change your energy state and you're already in abundance without actually needing things, and then the things come to you. It's literally like once you release the need for something, it comes. I swear it happens with relationships, it happens with everything. When I just release the need for subscribers, followers, money, brand deals, products, the time freedom, me wanting to work every day for myself, but I couldn't because I was working 2 other jobs. Once I released that and just said, okay, if I had all of these things, what would I actually be doing? Which is making the content, right? Which is having the podcast, is speaking on camera, is giving advice, doing whatever it is that I need to do in my niche. So then I need to do that. I need to focus on that. I need to not focus on anything else. And the more that I did that, the more that I posted every week on YouTube, 3 times a day on TikTok, grinded it out, like did everything that I needed to do, everything else followed. And I knew that. I told myself that every single day. It's all going to come. I know that. I have to trust that. I have to believe that with my heart. And you can tell if you don't believe that because you'll see it in your actions and your thoughts every day. You'll be checking to see how many more followers, or when I'm gonna get the brand deal, or how much, you know, how do I get on PR lists and all this kind of stuff. Again, not a bad thing. You have to think about that. But when you're hyper focusing on that, you're in lack. And then it will energetically not mess up things for you, but it will slow down your process. So just a pro tip with anything, even if it's outside of being a content creator, whatever you want in your life, focus on your thoughts and your energy state and your habits and the things that you would be doing if you already were the business owner, if you already were the person who had a lot of money. And you know, sometimes we think that the person who has a lot of money would just be chilling and having the best time of their life and not working, but that's not really true. The person who has time freedom and who has lots of money and who has lots of products and lots of all these things, they're probably doing really healthy things in their lives. They're going out into the world and they're living out their purpose, or they're putting something on social media, or they're helping out in certain areas, or they're being positive, not all the time, but like they're actually doing things. They're not just what you probably think that they're doing, which is like nothing, like laying around and just like having all these cool products and whatever. And this is what I'm gonna say. I thought that when I was gonna be a content creator, like when I got all these things, I was gonna be super happy and like I'm gonna be able to use all these things and I'm gonna have this like cool lifestyle. And the reality is, look at all the products that I'm wanting to give away, not because I don't want them, but it's because I actually don't need them. Because all the things that I thought that I needed in order to be happy weren't actually the things that were making me happy. So anyways, that was a rant. I'm just trying to buy time because my Pilates class, I don't have to leave for a little bit, but I'm gonna go now. I'm not feeling good again, but you know what? We're gonna power through. I just had some coffee and ate some food. I had some steak. I made steak yesterday with my Greek salad recipe that I always post on my Instagram story. It was fire, okay? And then I sat and I just listened to Morgan Wallen for like 30 minutes, went on Pinterest. I also found a new creator that I really like. Her name is Paige Lorenzi or Lorenz, I don't know. I really like her aesthetic. She's very much so giving like old money aesthetic times coastal cowgirl, and what I love a good coastal cowgirl aesthetic. She's a very big creator and I've never seen her before, but I looked her up because she was like talking about Toronto and Vancouver, and so I thought maybe she was Canadian, but she's not, but I guess she had lived in Toronto at one point. And then when I looked her up, it showed that she's like dating like a famous tennis player. I don't know tennis players. But she also apparently dated Morgan Wallen at one point. So that's cool, that's very interesting. Anyways, I like her aesthetic. So I have no energy to do a really heavy leg day. I wish I did, but I don't. And on these days, I try not to have too much resistance and try not to get too down on myself and try not to fall off of everything just because I feel like I can't do what I said that I was gonna do 100%. So I'm finally gonna get up and I'm gonna go on a really long walk because I feel like when I don't feel well, the best thing that I can do is try and move any way that I can. And I could go to the gym and do like a light workout or like a treadmill workout, but I feel like in terms of me not feeling the best, I need to get outside and get sun and air. So that's what I'm gonna do. But before I do that, I got an email from my talent management. I think I can say I'm working with HeyU on something, and it's a really tight turnaround. So they want me to give the concept, like I signed the contract yesterday, they want me to give the concept today, and then the content for them to approve is due on Tuesday, and then the content goes live sometime next week. But think what I'm gonna do, because it's just Instagram stories. I just went over the brief, and the brief is essentially like just telling me like what the campaign is gonna be about and like what I'm gonna be talking about and what I'm gonna be promoting. So I think I'm just gonna literally make the 4 stories right now, or the 3 stories, take some like screenshots of the HeyU app and like things that I have to promote, and then just send it into them so that so I can get it approved like now, so don't wait. And then I'm gonna go on my walk. Something that I always feel so grateful for on days where I don't feel the best, and I can kind of like move my schedule around, or even the fact that I will be working, like I'm gonna record today. I'm not gonna have that much energy, but that's like also fine. And I feel like obviously the life that I have, I'm able to do this and I'm grateful for. But I also just remind myself of the times when I wasn't able to do this, and I'm so proud of myself. And I'm grateful for you guys because you guys support me in so many ways by watching me. But I'm also grateful for myself for creating this life for myself. My God, my brain is like not here right now. because I used to not be able to do this. Like when I used to wake up and not feel well, I would still have to go into work. Like I worked 2 jobs plus grinding on my social media, and I did that so that I could have these days when I didn't feel well or when I didn't feel 100% to push myself to go into work, that I could just relax a little bit. And I always think back to the times where I just didn't have this. And like all of the days that I would wake up super early and I would go to the gym and I would do my gratitude list and I would hit all my goals and I would work on my social media, or even if I wasn't on my social media, like back in the day when I wasn't even doing social media, just like deciding to stay in on the weekends and work and pay off my bills and get myself out of debt and invest in myself, and whatever I had to do, I just did it, even though it was so hard. Like there was so many times, like it wasn't easy, and I know you guys know that. Like there's a lot of you guys right now that are grinding, and maybe you either want to be like a content creator or maybe something different, right? It's something completely different, but you're in this period of your life right now where it's like, I just want to get out so bad. And I was even talking about this to the girl that I was coaching yesterday about content creation, because she's kind of like, you know, we don't have the same life, but I know exactly this phase of life that she's kind of going through right now, of working a full-time job, trying to do social media, but also like her life is not like the most ideal, and she wants to be in a different town and a new place, and like her whole dream life, right? And you so badly just want to get out of it. And I think like maybe this is for anyone who's currently going through a period of time where you just like, you so badly want to be on that other side. You are going to get to the other side, and you are going to be so grateful for who you are in this moment, for getting up every day and working on yourself, working on your life, doing the best you can. Even when you have shitty days, even when it's really, really hard, like you're gonna look back and be like, oh my God, I'm so happy that I decided to just go and do what I needed to do, even though it was so tough. Like, even though I did not want to work 2 jobs and give away my weekends or put all my money towards debt or school or things that I just like wish that I could have spent money on, like products or something, I'm so happy that I did that, because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And I even think back when I was really going through it, when I was living with my mom and she's going through her addictions, and I was living in just the most unhealthy environment, and I had really bad health issues, unhealthy relationship with food, everything was just so freaking bad. I am so proud of myself and happy that I still learned how to do gratitude lists and learned about manifestation and learned how to go to, you know, to the gym and work out and take care of myself, despite everything being an absolute chaotic mess in my life. Because I literally wouldn't be who I am right now if it wasn't for that phase of my life, for me deciding to work on my self-development and get myself out of that situation. Like I wouldn't be here. I would not be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for that version of me that decided to wake up and just go despite all of the shitty things that were happening in my life. And it wasn't fun. It was not fun, but I kept doing it until the point where I'm at right now. And now the days that I feel like crap and the days that are kind of shitty, they don't hit as bad. They don't hit the way that they used to when I was sick and I still had to go to work and I had to work 2 jobs because of the things that I did in the past. Now I have this life where, you know, when I'm not feeling the best, yeah, you know, I can have a slow morning, and I don't really have to record if I don't really want to, but also I'm going to anyways. Like, it just makes the lows, because that's normal. We all have lows in life no matter what. It makes the lows less. And I feel like when people say like money doesn't actually bring you happiness, like when you get it, like doesn't bring you happiness, this is what I'll say about this. I see both sides. Obviously when I had no money, all I wanted, I was like, if I just had money, like I would be happy. When I got it, of course, and time freedom, of course, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but I'm not gonna say that it doesn't help. This is the thing, like, you know, when you have time freedom and you work for yourself, or like you have money or whatever it is that you have, it helps on the days that things are low. You're like, when I'm sick or when I'm going through something or when life is a mess, the fact that I don't have to go into work or I have way more money than I used to, it does fucking help those days. Like I'm not even going to lie, it does help. So I don't know, I guess that's what I want to say about that, but you can absolutely get there. So just, I don't know, just a piece of advice if you're going through it right now. Anyways, I'm gonna work on this and then go on a walk because I need to be outside. Like, I need the fresh air. walk. And I kid you not, I almost got hit by a car today. Like, I'm not even being dramatic. I was crossing the street, it was my right of way, and I guess the cars were turning left on a green light, but like you have to wait for the pedestrians to walk past. And I think what happened is the way that the cars were faced, the sun was beaming at them. So I'm assuming the sun got in the way, because the car that like turned before me as I was walking, like cars will do that even if you're on the street, even though you're not really supposed to do that. But there's enough room. So I was like, whatever, that guy just probably wanted to like rush through. But I was still kind of like, okay, it's a little bit close. Like I'm here, I'm walking across. And then I see another car and it's like approaching like quicker. And now I'm like, yo, like what the fuck is going on here? And this guy literally, and I'm looking at the car now at this point, he's so close to me. And then he puts on the brakes and like it skirts I guess the girlfriend was beside him and they were like, oh my God. So obviously they didn't see me, but I was like so startled because it was so incredibly close. I was like, I can't believe I literally almost got hit by a car. So that was like traumatizing and I had to like breathe through that one. So that was good, woke me up. And then I got back home, and as soon as I got back home, I got an email from my concierge saying that I had a package, and it was finally the chair that I ordered for my podcast studio. I'm gonna open it eventually, not right now. I'm hoping that the color is exactly what I want, but I need to get ready and record before I have no energy. Honestly, it's giving I have no energy today, but that's fine. We're gonna do it anyways. I'm just gonna put very minimal makeup on my face. One thing I was gonna say though is like, I used to like very much so at the beginning when I was on TikTok, used to think that I had to get all dolled up and I had to look a certain way, and it's fine if you wanna do that, and I do that too, but I try and make my job as easy as possible, and I try not to tell myself like, oh, I have to put a full face of makeup on, or I have to be 100%, or I can't film, because I feel like those, like, it's just unrealistic. If you want this to be your job, that you're gonna be looking pretty and perfect and 100% all the time. And I think that that's why some people get in their own ways too when it comes to content creation, because it's like, well, my life is not perfect, or I don't live in the perfect apartment, or I don't have the best skin right now to go on camera, or whatever. And I just think that these are all little things that really, it's only us that's getting in our ways. And I'm very aware of that. Like I allow myself to not look perfect on camera, to start the camera with not wearing makeup and like my freaking hair like this. Like that was definitely something that I was conscious of doing when I started on TikTok, and I realized like how much effort it is to always have to get ready and you know, look perfect and have the perfect line and say the perfect thing, because it's just unrealistic. And I realized after juggling a few jobs while trying to do that, it just like wasn't gonna be sustainable for me. And so I just kind of got out of my own way and stopped judging myself so much, and realized like I can be imperfect and go on camera, and you know, or maybe even when it comes to videos, like now on my channel, I do a lot of, like I try and do a lot of incorporating vlog style stuff instead of just sit down and talk, especially now that, well, I've always had my podcast, but especially now that I'm focusing on my podcast more. And so I try and like get out of my own way in terms of telling myself like, oh, every single video has to be like this amazing, curated, like to the T, hitting all the points type of video. And some videos are just gonna be more lax and more just me chatting and like who knows what I'm chatting about type of vibe. I think that it's helpful for me as a creator, and I also just think that in terms of like building a community, it is kind of important that you incorporate, if you want, right? Obviously it depends. Incorporate some of your life where you're kind of like just being you, because then you're also like teaching other people what to expect from you. And if you always show up 100,000%, then people are gonna kind of always want that, and that's fine if that's what you want. But I even think about that in terms of relationships. Like I remember when I first started dating guys, I was like, I didn't have a lot of, I had like very low confidence for sure within myself, and like I didn't like my body and I didn't like my face and blah, 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 like high school crap like that, even into my adulthood years. But one thing I started being conscious of and stopped doing was putting like a full face of makeup and wearing my absolute best hot outfit and making myself look like an absolute 10 in my own eyes, what I could make myself look as when I would go and meet guys for the first time, because I didn't want really to have them think that this is how they were always gonna get me, and nor did I want to like have them be trained that, you know, that's who I am, because it's like, it's not always who I am. And this is not to mean that I would go show up looking like the worst version of myself, obviously not, but I just thought that that was just like an important thing. Honestly, less to do with them, because it doesn't really matter. It was more to do with myself, because I just didn't want to start relationships. Not like this is even that important, because it's not. Like, there's so many more important things in relationships, but I just found like I don't want to be this like picture perfect person and have everyone expect that of me all the time, because it's just not me. And of course, yes, you want to like show up on camera beautiful and amazing and stunning and you have all the right things to say. Same thing in relationships and stuff, but like that's also just not the reality. Like, there's just gonna be days where I feel like this and I can only really do so much. I don't know. And again, it just like makes my life easier, because if I feel like, oh my god, I have to do my hair, like imagine if I told myself like I had to do a full face of makeup and I had to do like a slick back ponytail, or have to do my natural curly hair every single time that I filmed, I would film less. I would absolutely film less. So I don't know. That's just like a thing of perfectionism that I try to move out of, because that's just not sustainable. And I also like don't need to be perfect. Like, you do not need to be perfect to show up online. It's what you tell yourself. It's a standard you hold yourself to, and that's fine if you want to look a certain way, but that's not what I care about also, and I don't want people to care about that also. That's just another thing. I keep saying that, but like, I didn't want to date guys where they really only cared about how I looked in terms of like being really hot, because like, you know, when you look your absolute best and you're like looking like a 10, obviously a guy's gonna be attracted to that. And I don't want to sell myself 100% on just my beauty. And yes, guys should just like also care about other things, but some guys like won't, right? And so I even think about that when it comes to social media and what you put online as a woman. People are gonna perceive you a certain way. They just are. And especially if we're talking about guys, and people don't want to hear that, and they're like, oh, but I should be able to post whatever I want. Yes, you can, of course, but just understand there's going to be people perceiving you a certain way depending on how you are showing what you're showing online. So it is interesting, because when I started posting about like self-development stuff and just like the life that I live now, which is me, instead of just like thirst traps, which is fine, you know, you gotta throw in a nice little hot thirst trap. And sorry that I'm hot sometimes, like we can't apologize for being hot, right? But the less I posted for the like the male gaze in a way, I would still get guys hitting me up through DMs, but they were hitting me up for different reasons. Like, they were hitting me up because they liked my content, and then I would have conversations about my content, and not like, oh my god, you're hot, like literally I want to hook up with you type of vibe. So a lot of you guys ask me, and this is the thing, I'm gonna record a whole episode right now for the podcast about being a content creator, so I'm not gonna like talk too much. But preparing for the podcast, like I said, obviously I'm getting ready right now. And like I said before, I have a Notion where I just write out like what days my podcast is going out and what theme or what topic I want to talk about. And you guys ask me like how I come up with these ideas. It's what you guys want, what you guys are asking. It's what I know, it's what I can talk about. It just depends on the season of life. And so I feel like this is an awaited episode right now to talk about content creation, because a lot of you guys have been asking. And I figured, why not just do a Q&A? And you guys submitted so many questions. So what I like to do when I do a Q&A, or even if it's not a Q&A, I just need to talk, I'll go on Notion and I'll just like write out all the questions that I got, and like maybe like a mini answer to what I think that I would want to say. And then I get on the podcast and I say it, I talk. I don't like rehearse anything. Like, there's no like word for word thing that I'm reading out loud. And if it's not a Q&A, I will just think about, okay, if I want to talk about abundance, what are 3 things to help you have more of an abundance mindset? Well, and then you guys will ask me like, where do I get that information from? And it's from a lot of places. It's from, obviously, the first and foremost, it's what I have lived, right? So like, what are the 3 things that help me have a abundance mindset? And it's whatever I've lived, it's whatever I've been through, it's whatever I've actually practically put into place. It's what I've experienced. Obviously, these things I've learned over time through life experience, but also like different books that I've read or podcasts or like conversations that I've had in real life. Like, you know, that's where the information comes from. And so when I am ready, I will have my camera, like you guys are seeing me right now in here. And obviously I make sure my camera is charged, make sure that I have memory in it, everything like that. And then what I actually do is I record it like a normal YouTube video for the podcast. And then I have my laptop sitting beside me. I record on GarageBand. I have my microphone, which I'll have everything linked down below if you guys want. I have my microphone and I link it to my computer. And then I'm recording the audio on GarageBand. So I'm recording the video and I'm recording the audio at the same time. So I have two separate tracks. And then when I go into iMovie or Final Cut Pro, depending on what I'm using, I add both of those in and I sync them. So then I turn down the volume of the video, the original video, and then I have the volume from just the mic. And then I also save the exact same thing as an audio version and I put it on Spreaker, which is where I host my podcast. And at the end, I will like pose for a little thumbnail or whatever. For my YouTube videos, it's different because I use either like Pinterest or my own photos. But that's really it. So I have like 2 minutes left on this memory card, so I need to switch it. I am going to record and then we'll have to get to editing, and I want to open up that chair. So I separated the podcast into like 3 different sections. So like just basically like confidence, how to be comfortable on camera, that kind of stuff about yourself. And then you guys asked a lot about the process of content creation and editing and ideas and how I come up with them. And then like brands and money and stuff like that. So I kind of separated them into 3. I'm going to try and see how much I can honestly get through in this podcast episode. So we shall see. Alrighty, so I am finished recording. That took me like an hour and a half. I did take a break and there were so many questions that I just like made that episode so freaking long. I haven't done a very, very long episode like that in a while, so it's fine. I just power through things. So what I'm gonna do now, and sorry for the mess, is I have my external hard drive on my computer and I recorded, like I said, the audio on GarageBand. So now I just need to export this and I'm gonna write podcast 96 and I'm saving it to the external hard drive. I do everything on external hard drive because my computer is not going to it's just not gonna hold all of the things that I needed to hold. And then when this is saved, what I do is I go into iMovie and then I upload this audio and then I upload the clips and then I sync the video together. And then I just go in and do all the cuts or all the edits. But I'm probably gonna eat something before I do this. Like I definitely don't go in and start editing right away unless I have to. Now I have to make sure that this is done today because the podcast is out tomorrow, which I usually don't leave it to this last minute, but I wasn't really feeling that well. So that's fine. It's totally fine. But I definitely like to like get up and move and go do something else, because when you talk for like an hour and then you go and listen to what you just said in that hour all at once, it kind of is, it's way too much sometimes. So there's a lot of different ways you can host your podcast, but I use Spreaker and I like it also because you can actually run ads and get paid for your work, which is nice. So once the video is edited, I save one audio version. Obviously the visual and the audio will go onto YouTube like normal. Then I upload the audio to Spreaker. I will have the title. I know you guys can't really see it, but like I'll have the title, say like 95, and then I'll just type out what the main themes of that episode is, and then I'll go down. I will then give a description. I'll put all the links of anything that I need to like share and any tags, and then I'll do a publish date. So I always like pre-publish the episode so it will go live at like 4 a.m. so that I don't have to like post, which is obviously really nice. For thumbnails, I usually just like pose on the camera. I'll just open one if you can even see it. I don't know. Yeah, I know you can't really see. It's probably backwards, who knows. I'll just like pose on the camera and then I'll go into iMovie and upload this clip and screenshot it and then add it to Canva. And then again, I'll just like add the little titles, whatever, and then that's the thumbnail.
Guys, take a look at this, okay? It is so messy here, but like this is like
a lot of this is for you. Oh, by the way, I got a package yesterday from Clarins, but I have this already. So just going into the pile of things that I'll probably give away to you guys. I freaking love this couch. I mean, chair. This is a dupe of the Togo chair. I was not gonna spend like $5,000 on this. And I will have it linked. It is stunning, and it's obviously gonna look so much better like when I make this a whole studio. I'm just showing you this angle. It is honestly so comfy. I know you can't really see me, but I can sit like this to record. I can sit like this. This is literally perfect. I don't know how well this is coming off camera. It is stunning, and I got this like velvet type of material, so it's still soft, but oh my gosh, I cannot wait to make this room exactly what I want it to be. Anyways, I have literally 2 minutes on this memory card before it's full. I'm gonna edit, and that's gonna be it, and tomorrow I'm gonna edit this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this day or two in my life as a content creator. Let me know what you want to see next or more of. Don't forget bottle. Seriously, I love this water bottle. It is such a good water bottle. And I didn't hear about them until they reached out to me, and I actually tried them and I was like, oh my God, no, wait, this is like stunning. I love this. So my discount code will be down below if you wanna get one. And anything else that I talked about will be linked down below. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, go watch my podcast if you haven't, or listen to it on Spotify and Apple if you wanna listen to the audio. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.